Mercedes-Benz. It does sound real pretty, especially when you're deep down underneath the sphincter that is Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I'm Blake, joined by my co-host, ATL Joe. ATL Joe. This is episode 8 of ATLiens United podcast, the Ocho. Joe and I have been working all week on our Spanish. Because this is our 8th episode, we wanted to refer to it as the Ocho. We are in between Atlanta United games, so we wanted to make sure that we had some content for all of our listeners. We don't know if anyone that is a native Spanish speaker is currently listening, but Joe and I have been working really hard.
I learn a new word every week.
What was your word this week, Joe?
Vamos.
That's great.
Yeah.
Do you want to sing it at the next game? I haven't heard that one yet.
You haven't? Because we sing it multiple times per game.
Oh, that's the word we use.
And then I learned ATL.
Okay.
Have you heard of that one?
The abbreviation for our city?
Yeah, in Spanish it means ATL.
Okay. So, if you used ATL in a Spanish sentence, how would that go?
I would say Vamos ATL.
What about Vamos and then another Vamos and then ATL? No, that's our song, right?
Yeah.
That would just go straight in our song. But Joe and I we're gonna highlight a song that I heard for the first time in the Vancouver game. It's a fantastic song. It's from our supporters group, which we're gonna say their name wrong. La 12 de Atlanta, because neither one of us know how to say 12 in Spanish. Do you know, Joe? Is it doce?
Doce.
La doce de Atlanta.
It's another word. That comes week 12 of the season. I will learn how to say that properly. When we truly become
the 12th man. Let's go into this, Joe. Let's try this out. This is
let's see.
This is
We
Tenemos que ganar. Yes, I am ready. Vamos Atlanta, que esta noche tenemos que ganar. Vamos Atlanta, que esta noche tenemos que ganar. All right, well, okay, they get the point.
Is that how it's going to sound on the game day?
We have a lot of work to do on our Spanish. But that song's awesome. It builds up.
Yeah.
I heard it last game, and I was like, we got to try it out. We got to let the people know, the people that tune in every week, that this is a song we should get behind. I like it a lot more than Vamos ATL.
You do?
Because it has more words that I don't understand. But I'm going to translate it really quick. It's let's go Atlanta. Tonight we will win. It's pretty simple, you know?
Pretty solid.
Yeah.
It's what we should do every week, too.
It's motivating. You know what we should do every week? We should recap the news.
Breaking news. Jumping into news. USA played Paraguay. A 1-0 finish. Real snoozer of a game. Darlington Nagby played. Our darling.
Bobby Wood
got that penalty off of Tyler Adams. Wonderful breakaway. Faked the goalie. Dove into the box. Miguel Almiron had a couple chances. Did not get hurt. That's the biggest news. Miggy, Nagby are both coming home safe. Romario Williams, I don't think he even played a single minute for Jamaica. He's coming back safe.
Jamaica. Who does Jamaica play?
They played South Korea, and they played some other Asian team. You know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Romario's fine now.
Atlanta United, too. They got their win, 3-1. Big news. Yeah. Other than that, Braves home opener happening Thursday as of when we release this episode.
The Braves.
Yeah.
Oh.
Beer that's cold.
I do like one of their beers, the Chopsecutioner.
Yeah.
That's that Terrapin Braves. They said it was aged with baseball bats. Have you had that before?
Made with real pine wood.
Mm-hmm.
Watch your throat.
Yeah, I don't like the Braves.
Nah, that's too bad for you.
Yeah, I'm just being honest with our listeners and with you.
But Blake, you're missing the big news. Is we got through the international break without a severe injury. And speaking of injuries, let us know about that injury report.
Injury report. Injury report.
Okay, injury report. I love injuries because I get to talk about them every week. The only problem is it's never good news for our team. We had a few new ones this week, Joe. Escobar. Okay. Remember when Brad decided to run out, elbow Escobar in the head, the wall, he became a moving wall, smashed him in the head.
It was only a week ago.
Yeah, we still don't really have a return timeline on that. Like, we don't know when Escobar is going to be back. Concussions are tricky.
It could be next week.
Concussions are very tricky. I think there's a chance that he's back from Minnesota. Right now, it's just too hard to say. Barco, very, very questionable at this point. He did not practice so far this week. So he might get back into training today. We just don't really know.
So that's unlikely he plays.
So I'd say Barco at best is on the bench. I'd say most likely he's out of the team. Obviously, we know that Hildebrandt's out for 8 weeks with a knee. Whatever.
He wasn't going to play anyways.
Third string keeper, maybe second string keeper. I don't even know where he sits, but that's not important. We know that Jose Hernandez for ATL 2, but, talk of him kind of moving up, the Venezuelan international. He's out with a quad injury. I guess the only other relative injury is Brandon Vasquez. It looks like he's been training, but he does have a little bit of a problem with that left hamstring. So just something to watch. Vasquez has been coming off the bench. Honestly, like I said, I think we have some better attacking options off the bench right now, but Vasquez is still a solid striker off the bench. I think, Romario, Carlton coming off the bench. I don't think Vasquez would be that big of a loss.
Tata seems to love him, though. He puts him in a lot.
Yeah, he played a lot last year. He had a couple crucial goals for us. He didn't really shine, but he was solid all the way around. So, Vasquez, keep an eye on that left hammy. It looks like he's probably going to be around this week. I don't know if he makes the bench against Minnesota.
I think he does because you might be missing. Carlton might be out due to international duty.
Well, I have something about that too. Just a brief bit for our listeners. It looks like Carlton is actually flying back for the Minnesota game.
Oh, wonderful.
And is going to be training with the team and traveling to Minnesota. So keep an eye on, he's one of our own, Andrew Carlton.
He's one of our own.
Frosted orange. I think we might get more Carlton than some people are expecting this week.
Some Carlton love.
But yeah, that's about it for injuries. We didn't even have a game this week, Joe, and it was a rough week for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but Atlanta did have a game. ATL UTD 2.
That's right.
We got that 3-1 sweet victory. Did you watch it?
Can I lie and say that I did?
Yeah, and then everyone will know you lied.
Well, if I admit that I lied, is it a lie?
No, it's okay, Blake, because the only way to actually have watched it is to go live to the game.
Because it wasn't on TV. It was
not on TV.
Facebook Live?
No Facebook Live.
YouTube?
No YouTube.
PlayStation TV?
No PlayStation.
Roku? Something?
No stream. There was zero stream.
Oh, zero stream?
Yeah, ATLiensunited.com didn't even have a stream. It was zero stream. So if you were not there, it was very exclusive.
So that would have been a really bad lie if I had tried to say that I watched the game.
Yeah. It would have been a horrible lie.
That's why I'm always honest. I'm always honest with our listeners. I did not watch this game, but I saw several pictures.
And did you read the recaps too?
I saw an awesome picture of Josef Samuel scoring a fantastic goal, which looked like a fantastic goal from the picture.
Oh man, it was amazing.
It looked acrobatic.
Yeah, John Gallagher.
It looked awesome.
John Gallagher, who our first draft pick of the Super Draft, he's the one that crossed it in. The ball got deflected, and Josef Samuel, with that amazing hair, scissor kicks it into the goal. Definitely would have been goal of the week if they allowed that to be voted into MLS goal of the week. He would win for sure.
Wait, Josef Samuel, like the guy I featured on my Hair Watch, maybe week 3?
A couple weeks ago, yeah.
Okay.
Remember when we went to the training session and we're like, who's this guy with the afro?
Yeah, that was Josef Samuel.
That was Josef Samuel.
So he scores a scissor kick week 1.
He scores the first goal of an ATL UTD 2 ever. He is the Yamil of Saad of ATL UTD suit.
God, I love this guy.
Yeah.
Josef. So our striker for our first team is Josef, and our striker for our ATL UTD 2 team is Yosef.
Yes. We had another couple
That's
good
fantastic.
players. Yeah, that is so good. John Gallagher, he was our very first pick of the Super Draft. He was kind of the Miles Robinson of last year. And Miles Robinson started on defense, but Gallagher got 2 goals this game. One was a penalty kick, and it's good to see he actually converted it because I hate it when I see players miss a penalty kick.
So just for our listeners, out there, I'm unfamiliar with our youth program. I'll be honest with you, and I want to educate people listening to the show. Kind of what position does John Gallagher play? What's his play style? I know you've watched a lot of him, Joe. I just am trying to get a feel for exactly where he fits in the team.
John Gallagher come up from the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. He's an Irishman.
Okay.
And he is Irish. I don't know if I said that.
So he's Irish, or he went to Notre Dame, or both?
He's both.
Okay.
And he's a natural striker. He played a little bit of a winger as well. He's got speed and good dribbling skills and a good finishing ability. So I don't know where they're trying to put him on the field, whether it's up front. He might not be big enough to play a number 9, so they're probably going to transition him out to one of the wings.
Okay, in this game did he play on the wing, or did
he played on the wing as Yosef played at that number 9 spot.
Gotcha. Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah. And then we had a couple of other starters not starters, but players from the first team last year. Alec Can played in goal. You had Mikey Ambrose play at left back. Mm-hmm. Miles Robinson, who made a couple of some appearances last year, he played center back. And you had Andrew Wheeler-Aminu and Oliver Shannon, guys that played in preseason. We were hoping that may have made the transition to the first team, but they're starting with ATL UTD 2. And we got only 12 players right now on UTD 2. And it's a really cool thing that Greg Garza even mentioned. A couple other Atlanta United players mentioned that. Kevin Kratz was one that said it's a great opportunity to have a second team. If you're not getting starting minutes or you're coming back from an injury, you can easily go down and play the USL and get some playing time, or especially during these international breaks. And that way you don't lose form, or you can get back up to playing speed.
Yeah. What I think we see a lot of, Joe, is in, European leagues around the world, whether it's in Europe, whether it's, in South America, Central America, wherever you look at, is that these teams have, a lot of times it's U18s or U21s, whatever they want to call them. But basically it's a secondary team where players rehabilitating through injury, maybe players that aren't getting the game time they want, but they want to keep them in fitness levels that are ready to hit the road if they need them. I think this is something we were lacking last year. We kind of saw when injuries hit us a little bit last year that we didn't have that depth. I think, ATL UTD2 is going to be a great, I guess just kind of, if you will, if you're going to use the baseball analogies, we're talking about the Braves, a farm system
right,
to really develop our talent and to keep everyone sharp. If you're not playing regular games, training just doesn't cut it. You know what I mean? Like, training does not cut it when you're really trying to get that match fitness. You need to be playing competitive matches in the heat of the moment, going in hard on tackles, and really feel the passion of the game to get to the fitness levels that you need to get to play in a first team game for Atlanta United.
But ATL UTD2 trains against Joseph Martinez, who no matter what is a heated contest, and
we saw that.
It's going to be very
training.
emotional.
Yeah,
and he will bring the intensity.
but yeah, I guess, for me, ATL UTD2 is going to be such a huge benefit to our entire program. We already had the academy. We already had a lot of, hype amongst our youth program, whether, it's Carlton, whether it's other players that might rise up through the ranks, but we didn't have a way to, watch them week in, week out. I thought there was a fantastic crowd this game. Based on what I could see.
5,600 fans.
At a baseball stadium. I mean, that's awesome.
At a USL game. Orlando City doesn't even bring that to a MLS game. So we're already ahead of them on our USL team.
I think right? Maybe they do, but I don't think Columbus Crew had that many this week. But we're not going to hate on Columbus. We're in full support of Save the Crew. But
Save the Crew, burn Orlando.
Yeah, the Crew is struggling with attendance right now. I guess they're conflicted, Do we go to the game because we might have a team next year, or do we do we boycott the game? It's a tough call.
It's
I don't
also
think you know
international
that.
break, so not many people were interested in games.
That's very true.
And why would you play games while most of your stars are gone playing for their home country?
Very true. Very true. The
But-
MLS needs to learn.
Yeah, and ATL UTD2 is great, and we got great players. Gosselin was away with Carlton on international break, but we got to see the likes of Youssef. And we got Youssef, right?
Yosef and Joseph. Because if we ever lost Joseph, it'd be an emergency. Beer of the week! It'd be an emergency. Just like this emergency drinking beer.
That is our beer of the week. Emergency drinking beer.
Every week.
Every week.
Every week.
This is a wonderful all-purpose blend. And we're fond of IPAs. I say we, as in Joe, ATL Joe, is fond of IPAs. We're doing a little shift this week. And if you're out of an IPA, I always keep a couple of these back up in my fridge to have, in emergency circumstances, an emergency drinking beer. Wonderfully labeled. And I'm going to grab this spike. The spike comes from Yosef Williams because he got the spike this week.
His last name's not even Williams, but that's okay. He's just an ATL UTD2 player. His last name's Samuel.
Yosef Samuel.
So, Yosef Samuel, this one's for you.
I'll give a couple extra punches for you.
We're a little bit worried about this.
Let's chant.
A-T-L. Wow, guys.
That was good.
To our listeners, he actually broke the can on T this week. So,
and I didn't splash my face like the last couple
you
weeks.
Splashed a lot, but just not your
my face.
Yeah, you're targeting your splashes much more, an angled trajectory. That one was just towards the monitor.
Maybe I'll target the camera next week.
That would be good. That'd be good. Then they wouldn't have to look at you.
That is a good taste.
Are you lying right now?
Maybe.
Yeah, because this is an emergency drinking beer.
It tastes a lot like a Miller High Life, Miller Lite.
More High Life-ish,
Yeah, but a little bit sweeter.
There's some lemongrass in there.
I wouldn't mind drinking it if it was my emergency beer. I keep it in my first aid kit. If you go to my house, in my closet, in my camping bag, I have a first aid kit. And there's 2 emergency drinking beers in there.
Is it refrigerated? Your first aid kit?
No.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want this beer.
No, that's okay.
Refrigerated. But it's a delicious beer, regardless.
Hey, we have 12 of them, and I'm going to get through all of them tonight.
That would be an emergency. And, we hope we don't end up in the emergency room, Joe, after 12 emergency beers.
That's like a usual Saturday for me.
Yeah, that's part of the problem, Joe. That's part of the problem. Anyways, Joe, as we drink this emergency beer, we have a little bit of an emergency this weekend. I heard that we might have some snow in the forecast up in Minnesota.
It's a snow game number 2?
Do you remember last year? I'm sure you do.
Hat snow trick?
The
Joseph Snow?
The snow game.
Playing with an orange ball. We could have a redo of the 6, was it 6-1?
I don't remember the final score. It was 5-1 or 6-1. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, that was a wonderful game last year. Joseph got his first hat trick. Miguel Amaron got the goal of the week. Oh, man, I really hope it snows. I looked at the forecast earlier today, and it's supposed to snow on Friday. So maybe there'll be some snow left over on the field. Or if it's like weather in Atlanta, it can change every single day, and all of a sudden, the day of, it starts snowing. Yeah. That'd be amazing.
Well, yeah. I mean, and to our listeners, each and every week we want to really highlight the next game coming up. And this one is a huge one for Atlanta United. Last year, I think the Minnesota United game pretty much launched our season. We lost that initial game to New York Red Bulls, our home opener. Great support. We went down 2-1 that game, I believe. And then, we went into the snow in Minnesota, and we just took off from there. I think this game could be a very similar launch pad for our season, especially if we get some snow so we can cover up that ugly AstroTurf they have. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Well, last week they played in Minnesota Golden Gophers College Stadium.
Are we playing there this week?
I believe that might be the venue.
Yeah, so we need some snow on the ground because that Golden Gopher logo is ugly as sin.
It contrasts with all the colors.
Yeah.
But Minnesota United is our opponent this week, and we're going to give a good preview here. They had a great, awful season, very much like Atlanta United.
Minnesota.
Whereas Atlanta United scored most goals of a inaugural campaign ever, Minnesota got the most goals scored on them of the inaugural campaign ever.
Minnesota.
And where Atlanta United made the playoffs, Minnesota United didn't make the playoffs. And Atlanta United had like the newcomer of the year. Well, Minnesota United had the worst comer of the year.
We also had best dressed coach, and they had not best dressed coach.
Right.
Did you catch that too?
Yeah, I got that drift.
Is it Minnesota? Is that pretty good?
Minnesota. You're catching on.
Minnesota United.
The Loons.
We got Gophers. Got a lot of Gophers up here in Minnesota.
Yeah. But they're not the same team as we faced that 6-1 game early on in the season.
They're worse.
No, they made some good additions. Let's give them some credit, Blake. We had an international duty. They came and beat us at the very end of the season, so we're 1-1 against them. We kind of got to come back for revenge.
Who played keeper for us that game?
Kenwin Jones.
Exactly.
Yeah, he played keeper and got a red card.
That game was garbage. That game was total garbage. And we should have come back and won that game. We were on a third string keeper, down a man.
Fourth string keeper, down a man. Came back 2-1, down a man.
I don't want to rehash it. That was a brutal game. That was the second worst. That was the second worst loss of the year for me. Besides, obviously, our playoff loss to the Crew, where we ended in the deep dark underground of Mercedes-Benz.
But a couple of players to highlight for Minnesota United. They got Ethan Finley. He grew up in Duluth, Minnesota. He came over from Columbus Crew midway through the season last year, really solidified their team. They did make quite a decent run at the end of the season. Not enough to push them into the playoffs, not even close, but they started to put themselves as a capable team and be able to be better than Orlando City.
Right.
And they have Kevin Molino, who was a wonderful player.
Not anymore.
Yeah, he played against Orlando City and went down with an ACL tear, out for the season. And they had a very great hookup between Finley and Molino. They were working great together. They're 2-2 and no ties to start the season. And now Molino's gone. They got to rely heavily on Abu Dunladi, their very first overall pick, and Christian Ramirez, a guy that they've had on their USL team to bring up, who seems like a really bright spot. I wonder when he's going to get his call up for USA.
So, Joe, what you're saying is that their best player's hurt towards ACL.
Best player's hurt, gone.
They're relying on some guy they got out of the super draft.
Yeah,
as one of their stars.
Yeah, and you know how we have 3 designated players and kind of 4 because we have Tito Villalba that we bought down his designated contract to make him a non-DP. They have a total of 0.
0. And so they got 6 points from 4 games. You said they got 2 wins, 2 losses. They got 6 points.
Yeah.
That's not a terrible start. They've had some wins this year. I don't think this is a team we should overlook. I know that the Minnesota United faithful have been great supporters so far. I saw an awesome tifo out of Minnesota United. It was like a Daft Punk tifo. I don't know if you've seen it. It was for their last game. It basically just said, better, faster, stronger, but it was like the guys in the spacesuits and they had the Minnesota United logo on them. Really cool tifo.
Oh, yeah.
I like the passion from their fan base. They came up the same year we did. They're also United.
Is Daft Punk from Minnesota?
I don't know, but I feel like they would sing more like, maybe more like Minnesota, like work it better.
Well, they're robots,
do it
so
better.
They don't
Faster,
have an accent.
Minnesota.
It'd be a robot accent.
No. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to know like some Kanye
Minnesota,
there.
they won their first game against San Jose. Or they lost against San Jose, my bad. They couldn't face Wondolowski. But then they did us a favor and beat Orlando because that's a great thing.
Yeah, we love beating Orlando.
Yeah,
Anyone.
Orlando was really bad, but they really showed Minnesota shows that they're really good at attack, and they've got really great options up front. But they've shown a lot of very big weaknesses in their back. Their defense has been a problem since the start. They went out and got a Costa Rican international. They got a guy from Europe. They got 2 backs. They went out and got Tyrone Mears from Atlanta United to play their right back, and he got hurt.
You mean like the guy that everyone whined about?
Yeah. They got
like the entire first part of our season.
They got old man Mears.
Like that Tyrone Mears, like the English guy.
Yeah, he's played a total of 2 games so far.
That everyone was just like, Mears, what are you doing, Mears? That was me.
With your Irish accent.
No, it was more like you just scream at Mears. That was what you do. Like Mears, he was terrible. He couldn't cross. He couldn't connect to pass. He was lazy. He wouldn't track back. I mean, there was 0 positive play from Mears. Why would they pick up Mears? That's just more my question. Like, I mean, it's open-ended. I don't know why you would pick up Mears.
Well, if you looked at their lineup last year, they had 0 depth and nothing at defense. And so they had to do something to get a player there. And so they picked up Mears, much like we did when we picked him up. He comes from a wealthy background. He had a good career, but he's at the end of his career. And it really came back to bite him in the butt. Their very last game, they had to play international break. So you had Kevin Molino injured. Mears got hurt. You had several players from them out on international duty. They basically had to play a USL team against New York Red Bulls. And New York Red Bulls had their way with them this week. 3-0. Could have easily been 6-0. It was embarrassing. And it's much like the team we might be facing this week too, but we get to go to Minnesota to play them. They're not going to have defense. They're going to get their 2 center backs back from international break. So they're going to have those 2, but they're both outside left and right back are injured, and Kevin Molino's gone. So they're very depleted. They're going to be playing a lot of young guys and a lot of inexperienced players. So I think we should have our way with them. And I think it's a great time to talk about what you think Tata thinks about this week and give us some Tata's tactics.
I think it's time for Tata's tactics. I've looked at Minnesota, and I really think that when we talk about their key injuries, and I never like to highlight injuries because I want to play every team at full strength, but we have some key weaknesses on, left and right back. I mean, it's big gaping holes. We need to be a strong attacking team, in my opinion, on the wing. We need to attack the depth of those wings. We need to hit the width. We need to try to push the ball outside and then try to, cut some crosses in, maybe cut some short balls in to Joseph, to Miggy pulling up, to Nagby pulling up, because I think width is going to be huge this game, especially as depleted as they are. I don't know what you've looked at. What are your thoughts on how we're going to line up? Do you think that we're going to try to attack them through the middle or out wide?
Well, I think I mentioned it in their preview. Minnesota's very weak at defense. They brought in 2 good center backs, but I mentioned their outside backs are injured. And it's a really good way to exploit coming from the outside in. Joseph, I think, might have a field day being able to make cuts. If we keep the same 3-5-2 that we've been playing with and put Joseph Martinez making cuts and Tito Villalba and Miggy coming from multiple directions and still have our wing backs like Gresselmania has been bombing down the wing and have Tito and Gressel coming down the right, Miggy and Garza coming down the left. And they're not going to know what to do when they have to cover 5 players against their 2 good players.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to stick with that 3-5-2. And I honestly think it's going to be the same exact lineup that we've lined up with the past 2 weeks. I think that Escobar is going to surprise all of us and make the start, much like LGP started after the Houston game when we thought he was out for a while. I think Escobar is healthy and he's going to do fine.
Okay. Well, I'm going to call you out on one thing. Last game McCann started. I know that you got
Oh.
Garza in there this game. What do you think about the rivalry between those two for that left midfield / left back position? Do you think that Garza has the upper edge in this game?
Let me tell you why McCann started. It was St. Patrick's Day.
And he's Irish.
So he started in honor of his country.
I see.
And then international break was coming up, and he's not on their national team. So they gave him a start for St. Patty's Day.
Okay.
And now Garza's going to come back in, take that spot. Minnesota's not as tall as Vancouver. So Garza's going to come and claim his throne as that left back. But way to call me out on that.
Well, so McCann was purely sentimental and not tactical in any way.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Well, at least we know that Tata is a sentimental guy. I like people, that just throw someone in there, for the heck of it.
It wasn't for the heck of it. It was for a national holiday.
Right. I mean, it's St. Patty's Day. We got one Irish player. Let's throw him out there. I mean, he sucks, but let's play him.
I'm surprised John Gallagher didn't make the 18.
Right. I don't know if I agree with that strategy. What if we just went with every major national holiday? We threw whatever international player we had out there.
Well, Cinco de Mayo is going to be a huge one for us.
We don't even have any Mexican players.
Oh, I thought that was a whole just like South American deal.
No, I don't.
Mexico's
I don't
not
think
even in
so.
South
I don't
America.
even think Cinco de Mayo is a Mexican holiday.
It's an American holiday.
I'm pretty sure we just created that in our country as an excuse for another day that
to go to El Sombrero.
Yeah, I mean, to eat nachos and drink Dos Equis and be
Even though that's my normal Tuesday.
Well, that's your normal Tuesday, But as we've been warming up on our Spanish, we're gonna get better and better, and eventually it'll be, maybe our national holiday for Americans that speak Spanish, because it's definitely not a Mexican holiday.
Well, Blake, let's get back on topic. I gave you my starting 11, my starting love.
You're starting love.
Yeah. What do you think's gonna happen?
I think
this week?
you're way off. I think your starting 11 is pure. It's garbage, Joe. I'll be honest.
Ouch.
Yeah,
I'm gonna drink a beer to that one.
it's okay. It's an emergency. But I'm going to be honest. I think that we have to get out of this formation. I think that we got exposed at the back against a 10-man Vancouver. They could have scored 3 or 4 goals on us. They hit one off the bar. They did score one. They had another chance that Breckshay the Targaryen totally blew. They could have easily had 3 goals.
Breckshay
the Targaryen. He did look like a Targaryen.
Straight out of Game of Thrones.
He did look like a Targaryen. But, I just think we're solid with 4 at the back. I really do. And I think this week what we saw from Gresselmania was not that just he can not just that he can attack, but I really think this guy can defend. I really think he could be a solid right back in a 4 at the back system. So, I went with a little bit different lineup. My defenders were Garza, like yourself at left back. I got Parkey. And then, I'm just not sold on Escobar coming back, so I got LGP and Parkey as our center backs. I got Gresselmania as that right back, where Escobar would probably normally play if he's not playing center back. I think he can defend.
Okay.
I'm being honest.
Well, when I go to the next game, I'm bringing that Gresselmania flag, and we got patches now too. Thanks to Chuck out of Phantomaniacs. Got wonderful swag for Gresselmania, so I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for him to do so good because he's one of our favorites. He's a fan favorite.
Love Gresselmania. Rookie of the year last year. He's already made Team of the Week twice this year. I just think...
But you got Gresselmania as a defender, so who's going to take his right wing back? Are you going to a 4-man back line?
Yeah, we're going to a 4-man back line. I think we need to pull out back to our lineup from last year. I think we need to go back to the 4-3-3 this game.
Okay.
Especially considering their weakness, on the wide spots. I know a lot of people think that a 3-5-2 is going to bring more width, but I think
we've done so well with it too the past couple weeks.
We have done really well with it. I just think that for whatever reason, kind of between injuries and what we need to line up with this week, a 4-3-3 works better. I'm going to keep that same midfield of Larinowitz, Larry holding down that central defensive midfield role. Nagby playing as the 8.
Our darling.
Yeah, we saw him playing against Paraguay, the guy has fantastic footwork. Absolutely fantastic footwork.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the competition level. I would literally put Nagbe up as world-class touches, day in, day out basis in any league in the world. You know, we saw a
Just
couple.
sit him in the middle of the field.
Yeah, we saw a couple Paraguayan internationals trying to get the ball off of him, and he was taking sick touches just right around the guy. And I was like, you know, this guy can play anywhere.
He took it off the back of his heel and then brought it down with his front foot and then juked around a guy. It was pretty amazing.
Fantastic player, you know, and then obviously Miggy heading that spear that is our midfield. So, you know, Larry, Nagbe, Miggy, that's my midfield. And my attacking formation is going to be, you know, that front three, it's pretty standard. You know, I got Joseph, obviously, in the center.
Yeah.
You know, I got Tito out on the right.
Yeah, the lion tamer.
But based on injury reports and what I'm seeing, like I said earlier in this episode, I saw that Carlton's flying back. I'm going to put he's one of our own out on the left wing this game.
That would be a fan favorite.
I would not be surprised. Based on the way he played last game, getting the assist in a short amount of time, having a bunch of influential touches. If you take Barco and you put him on the bench, who really is our starting left wing? It's not McCann, okay? McCann is not a left wing. We don't really have another left wing. We got rid of Assad. I think
we got Vasquez, who's a right left wing. He's played both.
Kind of fighting off injury right now. You know, a little bit questionable. So I honestly think Carlton is the no-brainer decision right here. Give Carlton 90 minutes against a depleted Minnesota team who doesn't have any depth at those left and right back positions. He can expose them out wide.
Blake, I would love to see that. I've been itching to see Carlton.
I'm just saying, Tata, what are you doing? This is your moment to put the guy in the game, and really, until Barco's back, why not give him a shot?
Now, from what I've seen Tata do on his short time this season, preseason, I've seen him play McCann over there on the left side. He played McCann.
I punched the mic.
You just punched the mic.
I just like when I hear
McCann. You got so upset.
When I hear McCann, I tried to just swat like at you visually, but I just punched the mic.
I'm a little bit too far away from you for that.
Chris McCann, if you're listening, I really enjoyed St. Patty's Day.
I met him once at a Braves game.
I think you are a hilarious and great guy, but I really don't want you playing left wing. That's just from the bottom of my heart.
I'm not saying I would put him at left wing. I was just saying Tata would put him at left wing.
I'm sorry I punched the mic.
Yeah. But okay, I would love Carlton out there. Barco has not hit training as of recording this episode, and I do not see getting in training in a day or two and then making the starting 11.
No way.
They're going to have to slowly put him in.
No way.
We all want to see him. I cannot wait for him to come back to this lineup. But he's just at the 4-week mark when he was a 4 to 6 week injury. I'm not seeing Barco there. And I hope you're right with seeing Carlton coming out. But also, I want to see Escobar recover from this injury because I don't know if I'm ready to see Sal Zizzo taking that right back side.
That's why we have Gresselmania. I really think Gressel can hold down that right back spot. And maybe I'm the only one in the ATLiens United fan base that thinks that. I've just seen this kid defend.
Yeah.
And he's solid going forward, but I really think Gressel can get back there and get stuck in and put in a good tackle. That's what I've seen from the kid.
That's great. So I'm excited, Blake. Where are you going to watch the game this week?
I think I'm going to Der Biergarten. I think
Biergarten.
That's where I'm heading. But I'm not sure. You know, I'm debating between several watch parties. It's a late kickoff. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be so much fun. It's on
I hope it's a snow game.
I hope it's a snow day.
So I'm probably going to MARTA or Uber somewhere, honestly, for safety. And not drive anywhere. I'm not going to head out to, Marietta or anything crazy.
If you go to Der Biergarten, I'll be right there with you. We can make that happen.
Because I want to be around the rowdiest and the proudest fans in the land. And when we're playing at Minnesota, it just brings back all this nostalgia. I know we've only been around for a year, but it's like snow.
We could bring snow machines to Der Biergarten and just
snowballs.
Make it snow.
We should bring King of Pops. We should bring something cold. I don't know.
Yeah. But all right, who do you think's going to win this game?
I think ATLiens United's got to win. I think we win 4-1. I think we break them open at the back. I'm going to be honest with you. I think I'd say a couple goals from Joseph because of the form he's on right now. when Joseph gets hot, he just keeps scoring. We've seen it week in, week out from last year. I think our defense is still going to let in a goal, maybe 2. So
We
maybe
haven't had a
4-1,
clean sheet yet.
4-2. Brad's been doing all kind of crazy stuff at the back. I'm not going to lie. He's punching balls. He's punching heads. He's punching balls to other teams' players.
He's punching balls and heads at the same time.
Brad, I love you. You're a wall, but your wall is a little bit shaky right now. So I'm going to say that, we let in a goal or 2, but I think 4-1, I think they have no chance against our attacking unless it's just crazy snow and we can't even move the ball.
I see your 4-1. I'm going to go 5-2.
5. You're going
5-2.
7 goals.
7-goal game. It's going to be back and forth. It's going to be hectic.
Take
it's
the
gonna be
over.
Crazy. I see Kevin Molino's out, so they lost an attacking guy. They've got a depleted defense. We're starving to get back in the game. We're going to start scoring. Tito Villalba is going for a brace.
Lion Tamer.
He gets 2. Joseph will get another brace.
Who's your 5th goal?
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.
Breaks into the scoring sheet. He gets his first goal of the season this week.
So you've heard it here first to our listeners. 2 goals from Joseph, 2 goals from Tito, and a WrestleMania goal. That's Joe's prediction. I'm not going to predict goal scores.
All right.
I just know we're going to score 4. It might be 4 own goals. I don't know.
Michael Parkhurst better not score another own goal in this game.
I said they're going to be on Atlanta's side of the scoreboard. That's all I said. So Parky might get one for us, Has Parky scored a goal for us, like on our end?
He scored against us,
I know.
not for us. He scored against us twice already.
Man, I love Parky, but he's got to like get a goal for our team eventually, because he plays for our team.
Okay.
So
Well, maybe he'll
he's
do that this
due.
week.
He's due.
He is due.
He's due. I mean, you can only get so many goals for the other team before,
Well, Blake, it's been a great show.
Has it really?
It's been great.
I don't know.
Well, here, drink another emergency beer.
It's been an emergency show. We haven't had Atlanta United all week long.
It's an emergency situation.
I don't. We are under emergency threat.
We are ATLiens United.
We need a game.
Hit us up on Twitter. Hit us up on Facebook. We got a Gmail. All ATLiens United at gmail.com. On Twitter, on Instagram. Send us a message. We want some chants. We got some good ones. We've been coming up off the show. We're going to be starting to chant a little bit more at each show. But, Chuck over at Phantom Maniacs made us that great flag. I talked about WrestleMania.
Chuck.
You'll have to check out those patches. We got WrestleMania patches that he made. They're so sick.
Yeah, they look pretty cool.
And meet us at the tailgate. Say hi. I'm ATL Joe. That's Blake, the Marshman.
Hey, guys. And also, send us pics. Send us random things that we should say on the show that we should just burst out in, like beer shower, or like, I don't know. I don't know. What would you say, Joe? If you just had something
Just give
random,
us a chant, like our Darlington chant,
like the Outcast song.
da 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 Darlington, Darlington, Nagby.
Yeah.
Da 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 da.
Promising. We need to clean it up a little bit.
Da 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 da.
Goodbye.